I am sure you would have read in the media, main media and social media about the expressions of my party, the People's Democratic Party. And you must have also noticed that the PDP was unhappy about the conduct of these elections. And generally, the elections were fraught with a lot of irregularities. But the most scary aspect is the report that is in the public domain that the elections were highly militarized. Soldiers and police were deployed unnecessarily in too greater proportion to the requirements of the election. In Zamfara, for instance, there was an election in a state constituency in Kaura Namoda South, comprising 5 polling units. And from the account that was rendered, soldiers and policemen from all the surrounding communities and states were deployed to that single constituency alone. This certainly is a threat to democracy. And we feel that our president, who happened to be a serious advocate of democracy in the past, should call his ministers and security agencies to order. There is a minimum requirement for the maintenance of peace and security at polling units, no doubt about it. And in the past, before now, policemen deployed to polling units were not armed. We were not armed. We were not allowed to carry arms to polling units. But now, weapons are in open display at polling units. This is not good for democracy. And as the biggest democracy, Africa south of the Sahara, Nigeria should lead by example to deepen democracy, to show other African countries the benefits of democracy. I think that the conduct of the by-elections is a low point in our march to democratic process. I hope sincerely that going forward, our government will listen to the voices of the Nigerian people and mellow down on the deployment of security at elections.
So, follow up to that question. Prior to we are planning to 2027 election. So, what this by-election will take to show in the as we are working?
Well, I'm sure that if you have other questions, you can ask. But I have told you now that going forward, that the government should mellow down, on the deployment of soldiers to polling units or polling stations. That itself presupposes that the excessive deployment of military to polling units is inimical to democracy. And so I think that what the deployment of military and police to polling units portends is an erosion of our democratic principle. Now, government should avoid such practice.
distinguished, the PDP just had a neck meeting where the presidency was done to the south and the chairmanship returned in the north. How prepared is the PDP for 2027, bearing in mind the internal rallies now we are going on? I don't know whether I'm right to say they are still going on, based on the utterances of the Minister of Federal Territories. How prepared is the main opposition party for 2027?
Well, I don't know. I'm happy that you said that wranglings that were going on. I don't see any wranglings going on anymore in the PDP. And if you talk about the utterances of members of the party, it's not only the Minister of FCT that has commented on the outcome of the PDP NEC meeting. Others have also commented on them. And so, commenting on issues that have taken place within the party is not tantamount to wrangling within the party. That much I can tell you. And I can tell you here that PDP members are very, very happy with the outcome of the NEC meeting yesterday, the 25th of August 2025. And quite frankly, Nigerians are excited because I've been out of that meeting. I was in the meeting and out of it. And many Nigerians were congratulating me for a very successful NEC meeting. Text messages, phone calls, and physical encounters have shown that people are happy that PDP is enjoying serious relative peace and stability. And so we are preparing for 2027. 2027 is far away from here. It will be absurd for me to say that we are prepared in 2025 for 2027. But we are preparing for 2027. One of the preparations that is on card now is the issue of zoning. PDP, you will agree with me, is the first political party now to come out boldly and say, this is where our presidential candidate will come from. This is where our chairmanship candidate will come from. This is where our party officials will come from. I think that is the foundation that you require to be competitive and strong, to be strong and competitive in 2027. And we are on course.
Okay, sir. So coming from that wave of peacefulness in your party, let's go down to your state. We've seen it's like the state, there is a lot of crisis, and the installation of the former speaker and saying the new one. What's your take on that? What's your take on restoring peace, just as how your party has come together to realize to go for 2027?
Well, what has happened in Benue State is an unfortunate development. And this is what some of us, especially in the National Assembly, have always been complaining about. The so-called Reverend Father, Governor of Benue State, is high-handed and is carrying politics way too high. The moment you disagree with him, even on principle, he goes after you. And that was what has happened in the case of the Speaker. The Speaker's offense is that the State Assembly rejected the confirmation, refused to confirm two commissioner nominees who were obviously unqualified, given the plethora of petitions that were raised against them. Ordinarily, that should have been democracy in action. That the House of Assembly is not a rubber stamp, that the House of Assembly has the capacity, representing the people, ensuring that the right thing was done. I can tell you that going forward, now that the House Speaker has been removed from his position, I can tell you, you will not be surprised if you hear tomorrow that those two commissioner nominees that were rejected have been reinstated and the rest of them. And don't be surprised also that everybody that participated in the process of either removing the speaker or trying to remove the governor will be on the receiving end, and they are going to be touched, no doubt about it. And so it's a very, very unfortunate development in our democratic process. And for the first time, Nigerians hailed the House of Assembly in Benue State for mustering the audacity to say, hey, we cannot pass these candidates for commissioner. Give us other candidates. And that becomes their offense. That has consumed the speaker. And I can tell you that other leaders of the House will suffer virtually the same fate. The speaker was literally forced to resign. You can see that his resignation letter was not even typed. It was handwritten. That shows you the pressure that I was put on him. And that's not definitely good for our democracy. And I can assure you that at the appropriate time, the Benue people will speak.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.